Greetings and salutations all, I.S. Anderson here once again, and yes, finally, the big announcement I've been waiting to make for quite a long time now. Volume 4 of Modern Disciples is now available in ebook form. It is available on Kindle and Nook so far. Not available in print as of yet. Still kind of working on whether or not I'm actually going to make it available to print. Probably will. But the thing is, my print books tend not to sell so well. My ebooks do sell, so I put those out there. But anyway, yes, Volume 4. Now, for those of you who have been following, yes, my books, my progress, yes, Volume 4, it did take a long time to come out. I do apologize for that. I'm not going to get into so much as to why it took so long to come out, but, again, I do apologize for it taking so long to come out. But anyway, let's talk about the basic plot. So this time the disciples find themselves traveling to the city of New Orleans. Yes, they're back in the States for Volume 4, and they go to New Orleans. And this time they actively are seeking out Diana and trying to stop her, whatever plot she's going on in New Orleans. Now they don't exactly know what this plot is, other than it involves vampires somehow. Now, New Orleans itself, it's one of the main characters actually in this story, because New Orleans, it has a very deep, rich history. It has a lot of legends going about it, and there's a very serious vampire culture there. So it would make sense that Diana would go there trying to hatch a plot that involves vampires. Now, those of you who read Volume 1, you know that vampires, they didn't do so well against the disciples the first time. Well, these vampires are different. They're very different. I won't get into how, but let's just say the disciples aren't going to have quite as easy a time this time as they did back in Volume 1. In addition to vampires, there is also another culture that's very prevalent in New Orleans. There's actually a very strong voodoo influence in New Orleans. I mean, there's voodoo shops all over the place. So naturally, in this story, I involved the voodoo gods, also known as the Loa, and there's a lot of disciples from the Loa too. So that dynamic is thrown in. And as always, a new volume, that means a new disciple is going to be the point of view chapter. In this book, the main protagonist, or the one whose point of view we see the story from, is Armand Perez, the son of Tlazolteotl, Aztec goddess of filth. Now, I always try to put a couple central themes in my books, and since the main enemy of this story is vampires, and also the story comes from the point of view of a disciple of an Aztec goddess, there's quite a theme of blood going around. I mean, now those of you who read my books, there's always a fair amount of blood, splashed on the wall, splashed all over the place. But it has a slightly more significant meaning in this story. I mean, I do say slightly more significant. I mean, there's still plenty of it getting spilled and all that stuff. But then again, this is me. So for those of you who have read the first 3 books in the series, I definitely think you'll really like this one. It's a lot different. New elements get added in, more to the story, changing themes, and some things that have been brewing over the last 3 books come to a head in this story. So I think you'll find it pretty good. Now, for those of you who, a lot of you, especially my newer subscribers, probably have never read any of my books, if you do want to choose this book, Volume 4, and start reading from here, you shouldn't be too lost in it. I mean, it pretty much does assume that you already know who the main characters are, who the main villains are, that have been in the previous 3 books, but there's a lot of new elements that are brought into this one that are explained pretty well. So if you start reading the books from this point, I think you should find it pretty interesting. And then if you want to go back to the first 3, you can do that too. But this book should be pretty good for new book readers who, would like to skip right to it instead of reading the first 3 volumes. Or you could just read the first 3 volumes and then get to number 4. Yep, so that is Volume 4 in a nutshell, and I will leave links to both the Kindle and Nook book down below in the abyss with all my comments as always, and the pertinent contact information. Now, as we know, now I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the new season of Game of Thrones. It starts this Sunday, I believe. So that should be pretty interesting. And, people have, left comments below, how I can see it without HBO. So I will be trying to do that, okay? So I'll be doing some videos. So I'll probably do a couple videos on analysis of that. And I know there's a new Sansa chapter for Winds of Winter. So I'll be reading that one. I'll be doing some commentary on that stuff. So, yes. And also, Percy Jackson, Blood of Olympus, that book. I'm almost through that one, so I will do a video on that one also. And as always, if you have any requests that you like to make with mythology time or anything like that, go ahead and leave them below if you want to. But anyway, sorry. I know my videos have been slow. I've been having a pretty hectic time lately, obviously, but everything should come down pretty soon for me. But anyway, pertinent contact information down below in the abyss. Please comment, rate, subscribe. You know the drill. And until next time, this is I.S. Anderson telling everybody, make your lives grand and have a good day. Thank you very much. Buy my books.